Today, boys and girls, we're going to be taking a look at this Knight V1 by a new company called SMOANT. Now, SMOANT, they produce a nice 60-watt device. It's a single 18650 mod. You can configure this thing in both temperature and regular wattage mode. In both modes, you can build it all the way down to 0.1 ohm. In temperature, it supports nickel, titanium, or stainless steel, and I love stainless steel. You guys know how I feel about that. But it's got this little guard right here. You see this? And the tank, any tank you can screw in there, that's a 23 millimeter or smaller. So 23 millimeter max is the recommended, but you screw her in. It's got this guard, like I said, and it looks the tits, man. Now I will say this. I also received their kit, which I'm not going to be reviewing today because I'm not a big fan of the sub-ohm tank that comes with this. SMOANT, if you're watching, that sub-ohm tank you guys made is a piece of shit. No offense, but it had machine oil all in it. It had machine oil in the coil heads. It was just, But you know, there's an online shop that just sent this mod to me to review for you guys, and they're selling just the mod for $38.99. And for $38.99, this thing feels freaking hefty, man. The tank I have on here right now is a Cerebus tank. I got a 0.6 ohm coil head in here. Vapor at 42.5 watts. Here we go. So you guys know that drill. We're going to go ahead and dive down. I'm going to show you this thing up close and personal. We'll come back, talk about the pros and the cons for this mod, and I'll let you know if I lost this thing today when I go out tomorrow and buy one. Alrighty, so here's everything that I received for this Knight V1 by SMOANT. Now here's the deal. I only received the mod. I don't know exactly what the packaging looks like for just a single mod purchase, but here it is. Here it is. The mod, the V1 mod. You receive a USB cable, a card that shows you how to insert your 18650 correctly, and a user manual. So here she is, an up-close view of this Knight V1 by SMOANT. Now you got two different color options. You can choose black like you guys see, or white. She's 83 millimeter by 50 millimeter by 25 millimeter. And she's primarily made of zinc alloy. Okay, on this side you get the menu screen. If you turn it on the front, you get the fire button, you get the wattage up, wattage down buttons. Here's the little guard. So it's got this embedded side 510 connection. You see that? Stainless steel thread, spring-loaded 510 pin. And you got this little nut, this grommet, or this hex screw. And the idea is, the way they market it is you loosen that up and you can turn this plate to adjust for the airflow. You know, the airflow on the tanks, on different tanks you put on here. Mine does not work. I stripped it first of all, but the first time I pulled it out, it wouldn't spin. It wasn't going anywhere, so I don't know. Maybe it just be mine. They may have fixed it. I don't know, but mine just does not work. On this side, you got the USB port for charging and pass-through. Oh yeah, and on the front it says Knight V1 SMOANT. Here's a look at the base. And here's the top of this device. Now at the top, you got a rubber plug, and you pull this out, and boom, there's your ventilation, and there's your cap, your 18650 battery cap. And that unscrews and comes out like so, and then there's your battery. And the battery goes in positive side first. Nice clean threads. Again, here's the battery cap. Nice clean threads. Positive side first. And I prefer to take the battery plug out because I want to see the ventilation, because there's no other ventilation on this device other than the top. Kind of doesn't make sense. They should have put slots like right here. That would have been better. So first things first, I want to go ahead and show you the spinning, the non-spinning. You know, they market that the 510 connection spins. Well, it doesn't on mine. I'm going to show you why it's a big con in my book, okay? Because here's a tank right here. Here's the Cerebus. You got one slot on one side. You got one slot on the other. I'm going to go ahead and screw this down on the 510 connection. All the way down. Okay, that's all the way down. Now you got one slot open, but on the other side, it's blocked off. So I'm assuming when they market that the 510 connection or the 510 plate spins, you can go in and adjust it, because the ideal way is to have a slot on one side and a slot on the other. Now here's another 22 millimeter tank. Same thing, screwed all the way down. You got a slot on one side and it's blocked off on the back. Here's the iSub V tank. So this slot right here on this side is completely open, but this slot right here is halfway blocked off. Now I can turn it, loosen it up a little bit, and you got one slot open, one slot open. That's ideal, right? But it's a little wobbly. Here's another tank. This fits perfect. That's how you want it. Well, it's a little bit blocked and I can back it out, but if I back it out, it's gonna be a little loose. That's a big, big, big con in my book. Again, this is tightened down all the way, and this is doable. I mean, it's not bad, but that's something that SMOANT needs to fix for sure. Little mod size comparison for you guys. Here's the Vapor Flash Classic Mini, holds a single 18650, and here's the Knight V1, holds a single 18650. Knight V1, Vapor Flash Classic Mini. Now, in order to turn this device on, 5 clicks of the fire button does it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's the menu screen. You see the battery gauge, variable wattage, because that's the mode we're in right now. It says 42.5 watts. You got the resistance and the voltage. This is your standard menu screen. 5 clicks to turn her off. Now to flip the screen from right to left or left to right while this device is on, you want to hold down the fire button and the wattage up button down at the same time. What I do is I press the fire button right before the wattage up, and watch this. From right to left. Same thing to switch her back. To lock the wattage buttons while this device is on, you want to hold down the wattage up and the wattage down buttons down at the same time. And it's locked. Do the same thing to unlock it. So right now we're in wattage mode and I've got a Kanthal coil head in here. I'm vaping at 42.5 watts or 42.3 watts. I'm going to go ahead and adjust that up. 42.5 watts. Hit the fire button. And you get a timer. And as you guys can hear, she's firing up. And you can vapor between 1 watt and 60 watts. And she does not round robin. And she does scroll pretty slow. And if you want, you can adjust her in 0.1 increments. Now to get into the menu settings, all you do is hit the fire button 3 times while this device is on. And as you guys can see, variable voltage, you scroll down, you toggle down with the wattage up, wattage down buttons, and it does round robin. So you got variable wattage, variable voltage, you got nickel, titanium, and then stainless steel, and it round robins. We're gonna go to stainless steel because I've got a stainless steel coil head in this iSub V tank. Hit the fire button. And in order to lock the resistance, all you do is hold down the wattage up, wattage down buttons down at the same time while this thing is in temperature mode. And the resistance is locked. And to adjust the temperature, all you do is use these wattage up, wattage down buttons, okay? And it vapes between 2 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 and 300 degrees Celsius. And it does round robin. See that? Once it reaches 600 degrees Fahrenheit, if you hit the wattage up button, it round robins into Celsius. Round robins. Now if you hold down the fire button, the wattage up button down at the same time while you're in temperature mode, watch this. You can adjust the joules, and the joules does round robin, and you can vape this thing between 10 joules and 60 joules in temperature mode. Like I said, it round robins. And you can also adjust it in 0.1 increments. I'm gonna take her up to 60 joules, how about that? Adjust the temperature. And this temperature moves fast, I will say that. A lot faster than the joules and the regular wattage. Once it reaches the temperature, it says dry coil. Oh yeah, and in temperature mode, whether you're using nickel or titanium, it's the same exact way to adjust the temperature and adjust the joules. And also, since we're in stainless steel, you see that it says SS under the battery gauge. It will say the exact same thing for nickel or titanium. So that right there, ladies and gents, is an up-close view of this Knight V1 by SMOANT. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime. First, the pros. One, this thing is sexy. It just looks good, man. It looks good. It feels good. It's hefty. And when I say hefty, it's got some weight to it. The mini screen, it's easy to navigate. I like the function buttons. Nice, clicky, and easy to use. Even though they're at the base and it took a while for it to grow on me, it's good, man. It feels good. It feels good to me. Now, to some of you guys, it may not. Next is the price point, man. $38.99 for this. This thing is, for the price, feels double the price, in my opinion. You know, I really like the position of the USB port being on the bottom side instead of the base. That's so much easier because you can stand it up. While you stand it up, you could charge it. And also, they state that this thing is a pass-through. That's what they mark it, and it is. You could charge it while you charge it on your computer. You could vape. Now, do I recommend that? No, I don't, but you can do it. Also, in temp mode, being able to support nickel, titanium, and stainless steel is a big pro to me. And I like the fact how you can adjust the joules or the wattage in temp mode as well. Every tank I screw on here fits down, makes a connection, sits flush. Oh, yeah. Now, the cons. One, and this is going to be the biggest con in my opinion, but the 510 plate on mine, it does not spin. I've taken the grub nut out, popped it back in. I stripped the grub nut, couldn't get it out. It just didn't work. It didn't spin, and because of that, I'm not getting optimal airflow for most of the devices. I wouldn't say most, but I would say half the devices, half the tanks that I pop on here. No good. Two, as you guys saw in the close-ups, you got this ventilation, and the only ventilation you have is where the plug's supposed to go. SMOANT, why didn't you put more ventilation on the mod? I mean, come on. Three, if you prefer to use tanks larger than 23mm in diameter, you're probably not gonna like this mod because they won't fit. Also, if you prefer to use a dripper or an RDA, you're probably not gonna like this mod because it's not gonna fit on this mod unless you have an adapter, and this thing does not come with an adapter. Ooh. And last but not least, and this is going to be a subjective con, but this thing holds a single 18650, and for some of you guys that like to chain vape and like to vape at 60 watts, it's max, you're not going to get good battery life. So like I mentioned before, the online shop that sent this bad boy to me to review for you guys is selling this for only $38.99. I know. Now that leaves me to talk about the big question, the big answer of the day. Hey, Rip, If you lost this sucker today, would you go out tomorrow and buy one? And the answer is, I want to say yes, but I gotta say no. And the only reason why I'm gonna say no is because of that adjustable airflow feature they state this thing has, which it does not. The fact is, it does not work for mine, and half the tanks that I screw on here blocks off one side of the airflow. I gotta say no. Even though this thing's priced fantastic, I can't do it. That's such a big con to me. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.